Hello, I am Ben.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is the Hoka Rocket X3. Rachel, we're back.
We are.
Chatting and they're chatting about Hokas again.
Hokas again and more super shoes.
More super shoes.
It's got to be super.
Yeah, I don't talk about normal shoes anymore. There's no point. So this is the Hoka Rocket X3, the follow-up version to this, unsurprisingly, version 2, the X2. And it is quite a different shoe compared to the X2. So if you're familiar with it, it's probably important for us to go through a few of the stats and make you aware of some of the changes.
I'll hold up the X2.
Please do.
As comparison.
Fantastic work. So it's a bigger shoe. And by bigger, I mean the stack height has increased quite significantly. There's about 6 mil more foam in this shoe, which you notice very much when you put it on compared to that shoe. It's a 42 mil at the back. So anyone out there looking to be race legal, afraid not. It's a 7 mil drop. That was a 5 mil drop. Yep. I think it was a 36, 31. This is a 42. I can't do maths. 42 minus 7?
35.
Yes. 35 at the front. So that's the sort of the early stats for the shoe. It feels very chunky underfoot, but we'll get into that a little bit later when we talk about how it feels to run in. Some other changes. The upper, this version, had a slightly rigid, plasticky.
Plasticky, yeah.
Plasticky is the non-technical term for it. This one is also a bit plasticky, but it's much more open in its weave. It's got a bit more give to it. That has a partially / semi-gusseted tongue. This one does not. It's completely just more casual in its upper. It's more casual upper.
It is a more casual upper. You when you look at that shoe and put it on, you're like, oh, this is kind of like normal.
Yeah.
You don't get that kind of like, oh, super shoe feel. Like, it feels more normal.
It has got some super shoe laces. We're going to call them sawtooth or whatever you want to say.
Yep.
You find a similar lace on Nike shoes. Some Asics shoes have also got them. The trail shoes, the QG Speed 2, I believe, had them. It's that sort of slightly edged lace to improve grip when you're doing them up. The heel counter is new. This version is on version 2. It's stripped back, and inside it has two collar pads rather than just a wholly padded heel collar. So that's a bit different. It's got the old swoopy bit at the back. That one did not. And those are kind of it really with the sort of fit and the changes on the upper. I'm gonna go out there now straight away and just say that I kind of preferred the fit on the heel on the X2, and I'll tell you why. This is a bigger shoe, so this has got more foam to it. It's slightly, when you put it on, and we were talking about this earlier, when you're running to do your speed work.
Yes.
Because no one opens the door and puts this on and goes straight flat out. That's just poor behaviour.
Dangerous.
You'll hurt yourself. So when you're jogging to do your speed work in this shoe, those first few slow, steady miles feel pretty mad because it's quite a big shoe.
Yes. I would agree with that. However, I actually feel okay in that shoe compared with the Hoka Cielo X 2.0. Now this is another Hoka super shoe, exactly the same geometry as this one actually, about the same weight, arguably the same in that sense. But with that shoe, it feels like you've got a marshmallow under your foot.
Yeah.
And when you're going fast in it, it feels amazing and you do go fast. But when you're doing that little jog up or those jogs in between your reps, it just feels awful. Can I say that? It doesn't feel great because it's quite unstable, and because it's so big. It kind of almost like fights against your foot. In comparison, this one actually feels all right.
And it still feels it still has that sensation of being a bit sort of fighting the foot at slower speeds. It's very much designed to go faster. But to my point on this one, so this is a bigger stack shoe, yet there's less built up around the heel, whereas it's hard to sort of explain, but basically the footbed in this one sits slightly below this line here, and equally on the lateral side, you've got this sort of built up edge here. So the foot feels way more locked in on the heel, but it's a smaller stack height. On this shoe, there's not so much of that built up. You do have a bit more on the medial side perhaps, but still the heel isn't locked in as, I don't think. There's no slippage with this shoe, absolutely none. Don't want to make that clear, but I do think they kind of like the heel fit on this one was really good, and I think with the increased stack height on this, replicating the fit on this one into this one would have probably helped with some feelings of stability.
Yeah, I would agree. This kind of heel almost makes it's kind of the heel you would find on like a daily trainer.
Yeah, Clifton 9 has a heel like it.
Yeah, so it's a weird shoe in that you kind of think, oh, this is like a super shoe, but almost stripped back in the sense that it doesn't have those sort of dynamic features like you talked about that make it feel more locked in and more ready for racing.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird hybrid of carbon plate, daily trainer heel, and looks wise, it doesn't look quite as extraordinary as the Cielo X1 2.0, which does look pretty matte. It's an interesting shoe, but again, like, I haven't had any problems with it slitting.
No,
So.
there's no problems with that. I'm just sort of, in terms of the evolution of a shoe, it's always interesting to discuss where it came from and why you think someone, I mean, the R&D and the tech people probably, they'll know better than I, but it's quite interesting to know why they've done certain things. And on my foot, I kind of just liked the security that this offered, and with a bigger stack height, interesting to see what it might have felt like. But anyway, forget that one. Let's talk about this shoe. In the bin, you old piece of rubbish. Right, this one, on the foot, on the move, it is fast.
It is fast. One thing I will note is that this isn't my shoe. This is a big shoe. This is Ben's shoe.
Hello.
I'm a size 6, and I wore a size 6 in this. It's arguably a little bit snug, probably a bit too snug, as I found after doing a long speed session, and sort of start to feel a little bit too tight. So maybe go up half a size if you want a bit of extra room for faster sessions. But otherwise, it feels really secure.
It does. It does feel really secure. This strip back upper, this more casual upper that we've talked about, is still great. The fit is very comfortable. There are no hot spots. The upper is flexible to a point, but then rigid as you'd want it to be in a super shoe, because you know it's going to be moving. The toe box is a bit bigger than it was. The X2 I found was a bit narrow. Yeah. These do fit me nicely. They're true to my size, which is a 12.5 in a UK 12.5 in a Hoka. And the toe box has got a bit more room. It feels generally very, very plush, very fast. The grip was improved. No one else seemed to find the X2 had a problem, but I didn't find them the grippiest. And these I've not had a problem with these at all.
Yeah, I think that the grips here, again, I'm not slagging off the Cielo X Martin 2.0. I think it's a very good shoe.
The name's terrible.
The name is terrible, and I keep getting it wrong. But those shoes, I remember testing them when it was wet, and you feel like you're aquaplaning. The grip is very, very bad. However, interestingly, even though this shoe is created by the same brand, the grip on this shoe is very, very good.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I think it's worth having good grip on a shoe, even if it adds a few grams. Like, I think you never know when you're going to be in a race where it rains, and the last thing you want is to be tentatively sort of moving around because you're in a super shoe which by default is less stable.
Yeah.
And then you've got not much grip. So gotta have good grip. I'm a big fan of a good outsole.
Yeah, I think that the minor weight penalty versus comfort and grip is well worth it.
Yeah.
For sure. I did find that on the slow stuff, I can't really remember running in the whatever the name of the shoe is. That I can't remember, the CLE X29473.
See,
that one.
Yep.
I don't really have a great comparison point, but in terms of how this one feels, the slower stuff does feel quite unstable, quite uncontrolled. You do feel very much that though I'm quite a sort of mid-foot, ball of the foot kind of strike kind of person, and anything on the forefoot, if it's not race pace, does feel a bit mad.
Yes.
Like, you do feel like the shoe is doing a lot of work that is kind of countering the biomechanics of what you want it to do.
Yeah.
But when you get up to speed, absolutely pings along, which is what you want from a super shoe. Again, we're not talking about clocking your daily miles kind of thing. This is what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I've done different types of speed session in this shoe. Actually, I've done like 60-minute intervals, and then I've also done like 4K marathon pace blocks. So I've done like different faster speeds. I'm really pleased with the way it responds. I think it responds almost as well as the Cielo X1 2.0. I think they're both very fast shoes. That one is arguably probably got the edge, but I think for the sake of my feet and the sake of my comfort and still being fast, I actually do prefer this shoe, because you can still get to really good speeds. It just feels more comfortable.
Yeah.
Just generally all round. I'm actually was pleasantly surprised with this one. I knew it would be fast, but it was a bit faster than I thought it would be. So I take that as a win.
Would you run a marathon in it?
I think I would. It's not my favourite super shoe out there for races. I probably would definitely pick it for like 5k, 10k.
Interesting.
But because marathon is my precious distance.
It's true. You wouldn't dare risk it.
I wouldn't dare risk it. I think the reason why I'm hesitant is because, as you say, in a marathon there are times where you're like, ugh, and you like kind of slack off a bit. Not slack off, but
well, no, your form will always fade because of fatigue and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly, and knowing that, as you said, when this shoe isn't working at sort of very fast speeds, it can feel a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. So
I think that's my worry about this shoe over really long distances. But I think for a 5k and 10k, brilliant, and that goes for the CLO, like great for those shorter, fast efforts where you know that you can probably maintain really good form throughout.
It's very interesting. Because I think that again, this comes into sort of runner, perhaps size and biomechanics as well. I would happily wear this for a half marathon or a marathon because I think that my bulk and the bulk of this shoe are quite evenly matched.
Okay.
And I think that this dual density Peba foam is kind of suits me and my running a bit more perhaps than you and your style. For me, I think this is a great shoe for those sorts of differences. Definitely a half marathon, and even a marathon if I was ever inclined to do so.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. And like, because of this grip we've got, like, yes, it's a road shoe, but then if there are bits of, there are a lot of road races where you might have to go on in gravel or something.
It could handle it.
It could handle it. And actually another thing that I really rate about this shoe, I actually really like the tongue. Some super shoe tongues are like
paper thin.
Like, as much as I love the Puma Faststyle Natural Elite 3.
Oh, another crazy name.
When you put on the shoe, you actually spend quite a long time trying to like.
Yeah.
It's like cling film, and you're trying to like wrap it over your foot properly.
Yeah.
All bunched up, and you could say that's a minor thing, but if you're just trying to get a shoe on and go, it can be a bit annoying. Whereas this tongue, it's like. It's thin, but it's weirdly still cushioned a bit. It wraps over your foot nicely. And so you just put it on and you're like, oh, I don't need to like tinker.
I mean,
like that.
In stark contrast to all the things I said about the fit of this shoe, there are elements too which are like the dual gusseting bit means that when you're pulling it on, if your sock catches in that, it pulls everything out of place, and then you've got to spend ages like faffing around. It's got some quite rigid plastic elements in the upper at the side too. So the sort of structural bits of the upper in this one, which add that sense of security that they've got rid of, I don't think that's missing so much. I mean, I will still say the fit of the heel, I think, could have been a little bit better. But I do think you're right. I think that the fact that they've removed all those elements which could cause problems and have just kept it quite simple has actually been a big plus for this shoe.
I see it as like a more stripped back super shoe, and I'm not against it.
I'm not against it either. So there we go. That's our verdict on the Hoka Rocket X3. Overall, we liked it.
It's takeoff on a good shoe.
Rocket ship or damp squib? It's a rocket ship, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, it is a rocket ship. Let's go with that. Let's send it into space. And
you can actually purchase this shoe in the link below this video. We have tested it. We have reviewed it. You've watched this. If you do like it, you can buy it all in one quick movement. Click. Done.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. We may well review a normal shoe at some point.
Possibly, but if you like and subscribe to this, you will find out.
You'll never miss a thing. Thank you for watching.